My model girlfriend dated me for money, so I secretly used her connections to get revenge. Now my ex is trying to get me back. I'm 29, and I've been dating my fiancée Bella, 25, for almost a year now. Bella is an aspiring model and an incredibly beautiful girl. So beautiful that for the first few months I couldn't even believe we were dating. My friends, by the way, couldn't believe it either because I look completely average. Although people say looks aren't the most important thing, I still felt strange next to a girl who was so attractive compared to me. I was perfectly fine with simple dates. But about 6 months into the relationship, she started hinting that we needed to get married. By that time, I was so in love with her that I was ready to fulfill any of her wishes. So, 7 months after we started dating, I decided to propose to Bella, and she agreed without hesitation. My friends and family were slightly shocked at how quickly things were moving. Since I was happy, they were happy for me too and didn't ask too many questions. Our relationship was going relatively well, and although we had our ups and downs, I believed our love was real, at least for me. But about 3 months ago, she invited her friends over to help prepare for the wedding. That day I wasn't feeling well and was napping in the bedroom, but after a while I got up to go eat. Near the kitchen, I stopped because I heard Bella and her friends talking about me in the living room. They didn't see me and kept making nasty comments about me, laughing at their mean jokes. They mocked all my insecurities, and I stood there, red with anger and shame. The worst moment came when Bella herself joked that she had snagged herself a rich fool with lousy looks and was now living the dream. This cruel joke made them all laugh loudly together. I went back to the room because I couldn't listen anymore. I didn't even want to know what else she might have said. I was just burning with rage inside. I wanted to break up with her right away, but I held back and decided to play the long game. Use her just like she used me. I'm a web developer and earn well, so I pay all the bills since Bella can't afford it. She's just starting her modeling career and doesn't earn enough to maintain the lifestyle she wants, and her parents aren't wealthy enough to help her. So she was heavily financially dependent on me. She even moved in with me just 2 months after we started dating because she said she didn't have enough money to pay rent. I offered her to stay temporarily, but she never moved out. Since then, I've paid for all her whims. I paid for her taxi rides to castings, her clothes, accessories, makeup, and more. So she wasn't entirely wrong. She really did find herself a rich fool. When I heard that conversation with her friends, I went back to the room and was about to break up with her, but then decided not to, because I came up with a much better plan. I have a cousin who once tried to become a model. Let's call her Irene. She's 23. I knew for sure she had a lot of money. Her father is an extremely successful businessman, but unfortunately, he didn't approve of his daughter's career choice, thinking it was a waste of time. So he refused to help her until she got a few modeling contracts on her own. Irene moved to our city a few months after I started dating Bella, and I knew she could use my help. But Bella forbade me to help her, claiming that the modeling business is too competitive, and that if we helped Irene with contacts, she could become a threat to Bella. So Irene had to make her own way. Despite having her father's credit card, she was still very young, had no contacts, and didn't know how to network at all. However, after what I heard from Bella and her friends, I firmly decided to help Irene. In return, she had to send me half the amount from every contract she got thanks to my tips. Since then, I started tracking all the castings Bella went to, meeting the right people there, and then passing those contacts to Irene. Sometimes she got a contract, sometimes not. But each time she sent me as much as $1,000 because she was angry at her father for refusing to help her. That was a lot, but who was I to complain? If she wanted to teach her father a lesson, and I earned from it, let her be angry forever. I was completely fine with this scheme, because with each month, I was getting richer. Of course, I had to hide all this from Bella, because she would definitely suspect something if I suddenly started showing interest in something I had never cared about before. This went on for several months, and over time, I completely lost interest in my girlfriend. I still didn't break up with her because I kept using her connections to help Irene, but apart from that, I tried to minimize our communication. I was romantic and sweet with her when we were together, so she had no idea what was really going on. I also told my parents that I wasn't going to marry Bella a week after I heard her nasty comments about me. They didn't know the details, but they knew there wouldn't be a wedding. Naturally, I didn't tell Bella, and she continued planning the wedding, asking me to book the venue and arrange things with vendors. I agreed, but did nothing. This week, several events happened at once, and she finally found out everything I had been doing behind her back. The wedding invitations were supposed to be sent out right now, but as I said, I hadn't prepared anything. In addition, my cousin Irene finally signed a contract with a very prestigious modeling agency. She was incredibly grateful to me, and even her father was appreciative. So he sent me another $5,000 for all the help I had given. Honestly, they are pretty generous people. And so, a few days ago, when Bella asked why the invitations hadn't been sent yet, I decided to finally confess everything to her and end our relationship. I had spent many months on this cover-up, and now that I had earned enough from her, I saw no point in continuing the act. Irene had achieved what she wanted and no longer needed my help. Besides, I had absolutely no feelings left for Bella, so there was no reason to stay with her any longer. When she asked about the invitations, I told her the truth, that I had done absolutely nothing for the wedding and that there wouldn't be any wedding at all. She was, of course, shocked and asked if I was joking. Then I admitted that I had overheard her little joke with her friends and hadn't forgiven her. When she asked why I had stayed with her so long, I told her that I had used her to advance Irene's career and that Irene had paid me generously for that help. Since I had decided to tell the truth, there was no point in hiding anything, so I confessed everything honestly. She was stunned by what she heard, and her reaction was simply hysterical. Bella cried, screamed, and made a scene, saying I had betrayed and used her. I told her that it had all happened solely because of what she had said to her friends behind my back. Then Bella began to claim that it was just a joke, that the joke turned out not funny at all, but rather very hurtful and humiliating. We argued about it for a while, but then she gave up and said that I had betrayed her in the worst possible way over an ordinary joke and that she wouldn't wish that even on her enemies. She completely broke down and said that she truly loved me, and I didn't even consider talking to her first and just decided to destroy our relationship over some stupid joke. I stood my ground and explained that for me, it wasn't just a joke. It hit me deeply. Jokes should be funny, not openly mean. And her words sounded exactly like that. What hurt me wasn't just her words, but the fact that she sat among her equally shallow friends and mocked my appearance. She didn't even try to defend me, but instead joined in the fun at my expense. That's what hurt the most. I was the one paying for absolutely everything she wanted and constantly taking care of her happiness. So I clearly didn't deserve such treatment. Moreover, I had started working even harder to provide for both of us, so hearing her mock me for not being as attractive as her was especially painful. She packed her things right after the argument and left about an hour later. I didn't even try to stop her. I was that angry and hurt. For the next 2 days, I completely immersed myself in work to distract myself and feel nothing. Of course, I had long since fallen out of love with her, but I was still used to her presence. Sometimes it seemed to me that I could fall in love with her again. But now that it was all over, I just didn't know what to do alone in the empty house I was coming back to. This morning, I got a message from Bella saying that she still loves me and is ready to make things right if I want it. She wrote that she misses me terribly and can't imagine her life without me. I still haven't replied because I don't know what to say to her. I don't know if I miss her, if I love her, if I want to get back together or not. I have no answers to any of these questions because my feelings are in complete chaos right now. I don't know what to reply to her. I feel like a complete asshole for what I did to her. Maybe she was right. Maybe I really misunderstood everything and blew it out of proportion. I really did use Bella to advance Irene's career and get rich myself. Update. In the end, I didn't reply to Bella's message. I read a lot of comments and messages on my post and realized that maybe I really had crossed the line. I even considered reaching out to Bella and apologizing for everything that happened, but then I got a message from her friend who wanted to tell me something. She sent me a screenshot of a chat with Bella, where Bella asked to stay at her place for a while until her loser boyfriend, meaning me, either made up with her or until she found someone new. Her friend told me that Bella had sent this message to their entire mutual group and said she had left after a fight but didn't explain what the fight was about. This friend felt awkward because Bella kept talking badly about me, even though we were supposed to get married in just a couple of months. So she decided to tell me what Bella was saying behind my back just to ease her conscience. She didn't know I already knew how Bella talked about me. But I'm grateful her conscience woke up in time and saved me from apologizing to Bella and taking her back. I really dodged a bullet. All the criticism and judgment I got for staying with Bella just for revenge were completely fair. That's what made me reconsider my attitude toward the situation and almost pushed me to apologize. But unfortunately, we were all just being fooled, because Bella really did deserve everything I did to her. Maybe if it were a normal and less selfish person, I would admit I acted wrongly. But this is Bella. She is literally the embodiment of narcissism and selfishness. I still can't believe she was ready to come back to me just because she had nowhere to live. Although it's not surprising because in recent months she had become pretty lazy. She only went to castings and did nothing around the house. But that didn't bother me. I calmly cleaned for both of us because she was bringing me good money thanks to Irene. She didn't even go shopping, so I spent less than I earned. When I saw that screenshot, I was so glad I hadn't replied to her yet, and after that, I definitely decided there will be no reconciliation. She's just a disgusting person. What I did to her could almost be called madness, but she completely deserved it. I blocked her on all possible platforms and am even thinking about moving to a bigger apartment so I don't run into her at all. I've already done pretty well thanks to Irene and her father, and in a couple of weeks I'm supposed to get a raise. So it's the perfect time to move and start looking for a place. My friends were quite surprised when I told them there would be no wedding, as they didn't suspect anything. But when I told them everything, they were shocked that I even managed to pull off such a story. Some think she deserved it, while others believe I went too far and should have just broken up with her the day I heard her joke. I'm sure that when everyone finds out about her fake love confession just so she could keep living with me rent-free and without contributing at all, they'll agree she fully deserved what I did to her. Even if she manages to find a guy who, after a couple of months of dating, will let her move in, I doubt he'll be as blind and charmed as I was and allow her to live at his expense. Then again, who knows? Maybe she will. I don't care anymore. I'm just glad she's gone and I won't have to deal with her in the foreseeable future. Bella has probably realized that not every guy will turn a blind eye to her lifestyle. And not everyone will agree to let her in and let her spend his money, unless she decides to find herself a sugar daddy, but that's a whole different story. Somehow, she got another number and started texting me, trying to blackmail me into letting her move back in. The tactic, to put it mildly, was unsuccessful. She tried to scare me, saying that if I didn't let her stay until she found a new boyfriend, she would tell everyone that I used her connections in the modeling industry to help my rich cousin. I hope she realizes that if she doesn't tell the whole truth, people will just think I was being a good relative. And I really hope she's not naive enough to think she can spread all kinds of crap about me while I just sit there and stay silent. I told her that if she started talking about me, I'd tell what she did, and the truth would come out. Besides, she has quite a large social media audience, so this would hurt her much more than me. So far, she hasn't replied, and I hope she won't, because I'm honestly sick to death of her. But as if messages weren't enough, today Bella showed up at my job. The receptionist called me because Bella refused to leave until she saw me. I had to take her to the nearest cafe to talk there and not embarrass myself in front of my colleagues, because I immediately realized she was about to cause a scene. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as we sat down, she started whining about how I treated her unfairly and that she deserved a second chance no matter what. She wanted to prove that, under the right circumstances, she could be a good girlfriend. That surprised me a lot. I asked what she meant by the right circumstances, because as far as I knew, she already had perfect conditions. She lived without any stress and paid for nothing. And as it turned out, that's exactly what she meant by circumstances. She said I had spoiled her rotten by letting her walk all over me. If I had pushed back more often, maybe she would have been more drawn to me. I was too spineless and average-looking, and on top of that, I had no self-esteem, which made it damn easy for her to manipulate me without a shred of guilt. And that's exactly why she said the things she said. But now, when she found out that all this time I was secretly making a fool out of her, she suddenly started feeling attracted to me and, in her words, could now take me seriously as a potential boyfriend. I'm not making this up. Bella actually said that out loud. I barely held back from laughing in her face as she said it because it was just absurd. I don't even know if this was her last desperate trick to win me back, or if she really believed what she was saying, but it was damn funny. In the end, I just said I'd think about her words and get back to her later because I could hardly contain my laughter. She even made me promise I'd talk to her when I got home. Here's another reason I'm glad we broke up. She always started talking, in a baby voice when she realized I was angry at her. No idea why. Maybe she thought that if she pretended to be a little girl, it would make her more attractive in my eyes. In reality, it was just disgusting. I was too polite to tell her that. I came home half an hour ago. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that after everything that's happened, she's still trying to get back with me just so she'll have somewhere to live. It's truly pathetic. Bella was so lazy and dependent on a man that she can't even gather the last scraps of pride to leave me alone. I'm not going to talk to her anymore, and will make sure that next time she tries to reach out, she understands I don't even want to know her. It's only been a day since Bella showed up at my job, and today she called me again, this time from a friend's phone. I answered because I wanted to end it once and for all. When she asked if I'd thought about her words, I replied there was nothing to think about. And even if someone put a gun to my head and demanded I get back with her, I'd still refuse. I went on a whole tirade and told her everything I'd been holding back. I told her she's a pathetic loser I have no intention of dealing with anymore, and she'd better start looking for someone new to leech off. Bella started arguing, claiming that the only reason I have so much money now is because I used her and her connections to get in good with my rich cousin. So apparently, I was the one leeching off her. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Watch our previous videos. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new ones. And good luck.